Hey, listen, today's quick video really is just about, it's kind of one subject, but it's two subjects. And that's about choices and who you choose as an advisor and who you choose as your franchisees. It's all about choices really, and about making the right choices. Now, I haven't really written a script for this video or anything. I'm just doing this kind of ad lib, and it just came out of a conversation I was having with a potential coaching client about 25 minutes ago. It was all about choices and coaching and that kind of stuff. So first of all, what I want to talk about is choosing your advisors. And making sure you choose your advisors carefully. What I mean with advisors, you're talking lawyers, accountants, and coaches, business mentors, that kind of thing, and who you should choose and who you shouldn't choose. So, lawyers and accountants, well, they have their place, that's for sure. Not all of the lawyers and accountants are created equal, but they do have their place. Now, one thing that I've found in business over the years is lawyers and accountants don't tend to be entrepreneurial. You've got the bean counters and you've got the people that look after, all the legal requirements. Yes, they have their place. There's brilliant ones, there's great ones, and there's also rubbish ones. But if you're thinking about franchising your business, or you're going into franchising, you don't want to go and choose your family lawyer. Unless they've got specific franchise experience, stay away from the family lawyer. Go to somebody who has that experience, in writing franchise agreements, franchise law, contract law, all that kind of thing. It's going to be a commercial lawyer that you need, not somebody who's just doing wills, and all that kind of family stuff, divorces and all those kinds of things. And there are some great lawyers out there. First place to start really is just to Google franchise lawyers, and there's going to be a whole heap of them come up, but choose carefully. And one thing, while we're on the subject of lawyers, if you ask them to write you a franchise agreement, it's probably going to run you around about $10,000, give or take. I've spent well over $50,000 on franchise agreements over the past few years, and they're really, really good. You get kind of what you pay for in lots of ways. But when you're first starting out, you don't need a $10,000 franchise agreement. In my Franchise Your Business Accelerator program, I actually show you how to get your franchise agreements done for just like $100, and they've been checked by lawyers. They're properly legally done, and I show you where to get them and how to do it, and exactly what goes in those franchise agreements. So don't think you need a $10,000 plus franchise agreement when you start. Well, what about lawyers? So that's lawyers. What about accountants? Well, same kind of advice with accountants. You need somebody who knows what they're talking about with franchise accounting. Now, there are a number of fantastic accountants out there that really know what they're doing when it comes to accounting for franchises, because you're going to be a franchisor and you've got some very specific financial requirements for dealing with your franchisees. So again, Google who's a great franchise accountant, or take advice. If you want some advice, ask me. I've used a number of accountants over the years, and the one that we have at the moment is specifically focused on franchisees and franchisors, so they know the specific differences between each, and what each particular party needs. What am I trying to say here? To be compliant, obviously, with the law and the accounting and the IRD and everything else, but also how to structure businesses as a franchisor and a franchisee. So take the right advice. I think the important thing there is to pay attention to who you pay attention to. The other one, and this one is the thorn in my side, really. This is the one that really gets me sort of agitated and wound up a lot. Is advisors, business coaches, business mentors, business consultants, whatever you want to call them. Franchise, I'm losing my words here today. I'm not doing very well. Franchise coaches, that kind of stuff. Now, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. If you want to do something in life, find somebody who's already done what you want to do and copy what they've done. Right, I've said that over and over and over again. There are too many fake experts in this world, and it just pisses me off, to be honest. The internet is full of fake gurus and fake experts who are making money telling other people how to make money, but they've never actually done the thing themselves. If you've looked at any marketing stuff, certainly kind of like online marketing or how to make money kind of things online, and through Google or through Facebook, the world is absolutely full of these idiots that are lying through their teeth, telling everybody how successful they are and everything else. And you know, the vast majority of it is an absolute load of bollocks. And I don't mind, I'm not mincing my words here, because a lot of those people are out and out lying to you. And I've bought some of their stuff. I've bought their courses. I've bought their ebooks and all those kind of things. And once you dig below the surface a little bit, you'll find it's absolute bloody rubbish. Half of it. I fell into the trap. Years ago when we took our franchise to Australia, and we spent thousands of dollars on a fake expert who I thought could help us franchise in Australia. And at the end of the day, it was bullshit advice. It was designed to baffle and confuse me, and really it was a big waste of money. But I used it as a learning curve. I know, just here in New Zealand, there's a number of franchise consultants, and I'm sure they do a good job, but they're charging, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 to get your business into a position where it's franchisable. My franchise accelerator program's $3,000. If you want the one-on-one coaching program for 12 weeks, it's 12 grand. I could probably charge $30,000 or $40,000 for that, and it would still be, half the price of some of these other franchise experts. And the main difference? The main difference is those other franchise experts, consultants, have never done it themselves. So most of them have never ever done it themselves. I've done it on the coalface. Recruited franchise, started a business from nothing, recruited franchises, hundreds of them. Made millions of dollars doing it. So if you want to do that, copy what I've done, rather than spending $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 on another consultant, or buying into the fake and false gurus that are out there, because there's plenty of them out there, trust me. So find somebody who's done what you want to do and copy what they've done. You don't really need to find anybody, because you're listening to the right person. Okay, so that's some of the choices. You've got your lawyer, you've got your accountant, and you've got your business advisor, mentor, that kind of thing. Some of the other choices in franchising that you're going to have to make, and if you're in franchising at the moment, or if you're as you're setting off on your franchise journey, one of the main choices that you're going to have is about your franchisees. Looking back, when we first started, I had 2 criteria to selling franchises, and this is quite funny when you think about it. My 2 criteria were, you had to have a heartbeat and you had to have the money, right? And if you had those 2 things, you could buy a franchise from me. But I soon learned within the first few months of selling franchises that was the wrong outlook to have, because not everybody out there who wants to buy what you're selling is the right person. And 2 or 3 people that we took on in the early days really were not the right person for my franchise. They were kind of the get-rich-quick type people. We sold franchises quite cheap back then, sort of $15,000, $18,000 in the early days. And looking back, I should have been more selective. You know what? And it cost me time, energy, and money to get rid of those franchisees and replace them with better quality franchisees. So you've got to have a very careful selection process. You've got to know who your ideal franchisee is, how to find them, and then obviously have an offer to show to them and give to them. So you've got to find those ideal franchisees, and they've got to be a fit with your culture. Franchising is a real relationship business. Your franchisees are buying your ready-made system to make money, all right? And it's going to be a long-term relationship. The average time somebody stays in a franchise in New Zealand is 8 years. In fact, in a franchise system, so 8 years. So some stay a little bit longer, and some stay less. But you've got to be in a relationship with that person for, you've got to think about it, for 8 years. You've got to get on with that person. You've got to know them and like them, and they've got to know you, like you, and trust you. And that relationship, yes, it has a franchise agreement behind it, but it's got to be a relationship built on trust. Because if they don't trust you and you don't like them, it's never going to work. So you've got to have a thorough selection process, and how you go about that. And then that comes down to things like your marketing to the right people to start with. It's your ideal franchisee and your ideal offer to them. But things about your due diligence process and your selection process, what does that look like? Do you have an application form, or what are the questions you ask your franchisees before they're allowed to join your franchise group or your future franchise group? What due diligence are they going to do on you? That's just as important. You've got to make sure that they're right for you, but they've got to make sure that they're right for you as well. And they're going to buy your franchise, invest money. And it's a big decision. They're going to spend a number of years of their life working with you. So if you don't get a good fit can be absolutely disastrous. And once they've signed a franchise agreement, you know, it's not impossible, but it's really difficult to get rid of them. You know, you might have to buy their franchise back or put their franchise on the market. You know, or if they've got if they're breaching their franchise agreement, there's a whole legal process you've got to go through before you can kind of eject them from the franchise, because they've got skin in the game. They've bought into it. There's a legal agreement there. So you've got to be very selective. Not everybody is right. You know, heartbeat and the money doesn't work. You know, trust me, I tried that. So having a thorough selection process is really important. Hey, look, that's all I really wanted to say.